Hey, he's gone. Where is he?
With Marc Spector mostly in control of his own body this week, and the adventure whisking us from London to Cairo, Moon Knight's third episode was the most action-packed and illuminating entry so far. Layla also felt like more of an active participant this week with a good amount of agency, as she followed Marc to her home country of Egypt, and their backstory as a married couple was addressed a bit more. We finally got to see Marc in mercenary form this week, though it's hard to tell from this endeavor if he's, actually good at being a soldier for hire. Sure, he can run as fast as Moon Knight across rooftops, but undercover work doesn't seem to be his forte, as demonstrated by his awkwardness around wealthy artifact hoarder Anton Mogart. Layla was in fine form as a relic hunter, schmoozing with those in need of schmooze and selling her cover story, while Marc came off blunt and clumsy for someone who supposedly dealt with aliases before. Of course, Marc is also dealing with the nagging reflection of Steven, who, like Marc, is able to take over their body at pivotal moments of action, but this time for the reverse effect. This week, Steven was the one blipping Marc out of scenes of violence to play peacekeeper, making Marc's job even harder. Steven's a lovely, light character, but at times you do have to wonder if he realizes all that's at stake. He wants control, but really, what good would it do him most of the time?
Don't do it, Marc. Stop it.
The back and forth does lead to a very funny moment in the middle of a huge fight when Steven takes over, Mr. Knight being his version of the suit, and then almost immediately calls for Steven to take the reins back after getting run through with a spear. Having Steven stuck inside Marc allowed the story to exhibit way more forward momentum than the first two chapters. Meanwhile, desperate old bird Khonshu took some big risks this week. At times, Khonshu plays like a villain, even the type of baddie who could be this story's final adversary. He uses Marc's feelings for Layla as leverage, forcing him to be his avatar. Much like Amit's use of Harrow, it's a very ends justify the means methodology. Khonshu is singularly focused on stopping Amit from being resurrected, and he does some wild sky tricks this week in order to try and make a citizen's arrest on Harrow.
What are you doing?
Sending the gods a signal they can't ignore.
The remaining Egyptian gods portal their avatars over to the Great Pyramid of Giza for travel in which Oscar Isaac was able to unleash another new personality, that of Khonshu himself, booming voice and all.
You have any good ideas?
I have a bad one.
Isaac has been absolutely wild on Moon Knight between the action, different personas, and also acting opposite nothing or not much. Even at Moon Knight's clumsiest moments, he's a blast to watch. Khonshu's insane spinning of the sky at the end, which Steven helps with donning his Mr. Knight garb, was a sublime visual treat. Obviously witnessed by the whole world, and getting Khonshu crumbled for his actions, we're unsure as to how this will affect the larger MCU. Still, it made for a very exciting end for the episode and sets up a rather hopeless situation for our heroes going forward without Khonshu to protect them. Marc, Steven, as we leave things, and Layla must try to thwart Harrow and his cultists on their own. It bodes better for Layla than Steven, of course, since this episode saw her more than handle herself in dangerous spots. One of the best parts of this episode involved all the new facets of Layla we were introduced to. When she approached Steven in the desert after Marc relinquished the body and truly saw Steven for the first time as a separate part of Marc and not just for the sake of comedic befuddlement, it made for a sweet moment.
Go ahead, you're in. Cheers, thanks a lot.
With everyone on board with stopping Harrow this week, Moon Knight became more of a globe-trotting adventure, introducing new gods, new adversaries, and expanding Layla's role as an Indiana Jones-style hero. Putting Steven in the backseat opened up a new dynamic for our central character, one that still leaned into comedy but also required Marc needing Steven at times. Cool visuals, a bit of backstory, and a further fleshing out of the Enid situation helped Moon Knight pop in all the right ways, though the actual Moon Knight element here still feels like the least important part. For more Moon Knight, check out our reviews of the first two episodes, and for everything else, stick with IGN.